to you. How you guys enjoying the weekend? Hope you guys are doing great. Yes, so I decided to come on live to stream. Yeah, I think I titled this video this morning. So you're coming in, like this live stream, please. So this is just a quick video. I'm not going to waste much time. I'm just like trying to give to analyze Nyekachi's response. She posted this particular video on her story, and I'm taking permission to play those videos. Okay, I'm taking permission to play those videos. You know, it's just for analyzing. Okay, for the sake of analyzing her response. Okay, so Vina's victory yesterday actually triggered a lot of persons. To say, a lot of persons had Vina's victory yesterday. You guys remember that I did a video on that, that Vina won Miss Universe Thailand yesterday. And that after the fourth time, guys, like seriously, it's not easy. Like Vina's story is a story of resilience, a story of perseverance, a story of a story that teaches us not to give up. Because left to me, like seriously, a lot of persons might have given up. You contest in a pageant for one like for 4 times. This is the fourth time that Vina is contesting, and she won it the fourth time. If some persons must have given up hope, after contesting the first time, second time, third time, a lot of persons will give up, but she came back, and this is her fourth time participating in the pageant, and she won it. Okay, so Vina's story is a story that we should all learn from, a story of perseverance, a story of not giving up on your dreams. It's not about pageant, other things, your dreams in life. If you're not getting something and you feel like, okay, you have the potential to do it, or that is what you want, that's your passion, or you're passionate about something, I think it's high time that you just keep pursuing that particular dream. Okay, because Vina's story is more or less like it's more or less like has taught us a lesson that we shouldn't give up so easily. Okay, if she had given up after the first or after the second trial or the third trial, she won't be where she is today. Okay, so she didn't give up, and she came back stronger. Okay, it's just like when you are learning something for the very first time, you won't be perfect. Okay, but when you try again to learn, and you learn again, you become more perfect at each given opportunity. Okay, so that is what really happened in this case. And Nyekachi Douglas, for those of you that don't know Nyekachi Douglas, she was 2019, and she has been participating in Miss Universe for like 3 times. This was meant to be her third time, but she was rejected by the organization. And she came out yesterday, and she said a lot of things, on her Instagram stories. And I'm going to this video, this live stream is just to analyze what she said on her Instagram stories yesterday. Okay, so I'm going to be analyzing it once I play each of the clips. I think there are about 5 clips. Once I play each of the clips, I'm going to analyze, or I'm really just going to like analyze what she said. Okay, so I think we should just pay attention, and let's and let us know your 2 cents on this particular issue. Okay, yeah, let me share this live stream. I've not shared. Let me share. So you're coming in, like this live stream, please like and share as well. All right, so let me start off by saying that, please, this is a disclaimer, it's not my content. Nyekachi posted this video, and I'm taking permission from her to analyze her response. Okay, she had a lot to say, so I'm going to be taking it each clip as it goes. All right, so if you're coming in, please like the live stream, and also comment your own thoughts on what she said. Okay, so please all right, let me start off with the first one. I'm not going this live stream is not going to take long, at least 30 minutes. I'm out of here. I don't want to take much time. All right, so let's go. I have another live stream later today, so I just wanted to stream this one quickly before I go into the other one. Start off with the first one.
love that Vienna gave herself the opportunity to like explore this, and she was patient enough with herself, because the first time she competed she was first runner up, the next two times she was second runner up, which is even an even lower placement than the first one. And I think this is just a perfect example of, for all the people that keep saying, oh, rest now, okay, it's okay, and all of these things, it's kind of unfair for you to ask me to not leave my dream because other people, and it's always, oh, like, allow other people, but I've never actually represented us as Miss Universe. I've never actually done that. I'm not stopping anyone from going. I'm not taking anybody's spot. Even now, there's even more spots. They had only 22 contestants last year. I think 22 or 23 as well. So it's like there's a lot of space for people to live their dream. I'm not the reason why people aren't living their dream. I'm not stopping anyone from living their dream. So anyone that's like having weird comments, I love that.
Okay, so this is the first clip. So this is the first clip, and she was like, she's not stopping anybody from living their dream. Okay, so Vina, she likened her journey to what happened to Vina. You guys remember, like I said it before, that this is the fourth time Vina was contesting. Okay, so a lot of persons are saying that she should just relax and not continue on this her Miss Universe dream. Okay, and she was like, she doesn't stop. It doesn't stop anything. She's not taking anybody's spot. You understand? So her competing for Miss Universe Nigeria doesn't mean that she's taking someone's spot. It's a free. It's free for everybody. You understand? It's free for everybody to contest. So her coming back to contest, she's not. It's not like she's taking somebody else's spot. Do you understand? That's what she's trying to clarify, because I see that into her DM, saying that she's taking people's spot. She should rest. Like, seriously, why should she rest if it's something that she wants to do? If she's passionate about representing Nigeria on the Miss Universe stage, then why are they saying that she's taking someone else's spot? So what about the persons, the 22 candidates that applied this year? Did they take somebody else's spot? No, it's free and fair for everybody. But you guys know that the organization rejected her, but she's coming to that. Okay, so this is the first clip. Let me play the second clip for you guys. All right, so this is the second clip.
I can't find my hair ruffle, but as I was saying, anyone that's having weird comments about me competing however many times at Miss Universe Nigeria, you need to understand that I'm just competing. I'm giving myself the opportunity to explore the dream that I have. I'm giving myself the opportunity to fight for women in pageant, girls in pageant space are unfair. Even though I'm fully aware that I'm probably never, even if I competed 5,000 times, I'm probably never gonna win. Not because I'm incapable or unfit, or I'm not well prepared enough, or I don't have the right skills to do it, or I'm not qualified enough, but because it's just things that I can't talk about. And I find it weird that people in the pageant space aren't asking the right questions. Why are certain people? Why do queens always have the same complaint? Why is, I don't even want to call names now, but like, why are you guys not asking the right questions? But yet you're so quick and ready to pick on queens, all the queens. It's just unfair.
You see, those people that are asking these questions, those people that are not asking this question, it's because they are myopic. There's some persons that they feel like you have to do this, you have to do certain things without calling or without rightly blaming the persons that are involved. Okay, you can't just blame the queens. What about the organization that on the platform in which the queens are crowned? They have to take the blame, because if a queen goes on to represent Nigeria in the international space, most persons, and she doesn't do well, most persons actually attack the queen without talking about the organization. They always attack the queen, and that is why Michelle came out that time. I don't know why Michelle did not even finish her story. She came out and said that, oh, look at what happened to me in El Salvador. It wasn't entirely my fault. Do you understand? But some people are like, Michelle, what happened to you? Like, they bashed that. In fact, the bashing Michelle got that particular time, I think I even came out and I did a video about it. But I was like, she mentioned something that she lacked support. And why are people not answering the right questions? Why are they not saying the organization in which this person on which this queen is standing on their platform, like she's being crowned on their platform? Why are they not taking why are they not taking the blame, the entire blame? Why are they, do you understand? Because at the end of the day, these queens, they have done what they can do. You know, they've put in the hard work, they've put in they've put in their they've done their own part of it, part of the journey. But the organization refused to do the right thing, and persons are not even asking the questions, they're only blaming the queens. Okay, so Nyekachi is saying that you guys should answer the right questions, don't entirely blame the queens. What about the organization? Why are they not asking the organization what have they done so far to support this queen? What have they put in place to make sure that our queens go out there and they excel? Why are they only blaming the queens? What about the organization? Okay, so that's what she's saying. Yeah, so let's click on the next one.
Women are just always in for it, because it's like, if anything is going wrong with the pageant space, if her dress is not nice, if certain things are not provided to her for her, it's up to the queen. It's her name that people call. We're not calling the right names of the people that actually have the power to make certain decisions and change certain things for the queens. And we're always in trouble. Anyone that's held any crown is always in trouble. And also, like, I understand that we want to give people the opportunity to explore the pageant, but then, like, I feel like we need to ask certain questions. There's no public publication of where I can't compete, or where any rule that says that. Even till today, even till now, there's nowhere where they've said, oh, past queens can't compete. I mean, there's countries like the USA that don't allow people to compete twice. Yes, but there's also other countries that allow people to compete as many times as they need until they get themselves ready enough. Like, women are just always in for it, because it's like, if any.
Okay, so basically what she's saying in this particular clip is that there's no rule in you not being able to compete for a pageant more than once here in Nigeria. As far as I'm concerned, I've not really seen a particular pageant. Anyway, in Nigeria, I don't think we have pageant rule book. So like if there was there was something, or there was an obstacle, or there was a rule or law that says that she can't compete more than once, at least she wouldn't have competed last year, because last year was her second time. Do you understand? So I don't think there's a rule here in Nigeria that says that you cannot compete for a pageant more than once. Okay, that's what she's trying to clarify here. Like she mentioned, there's some countries like the USA and some other countries too that there's a law that once you participate in the pageant, you can't go back to that particular pageant, even if you did not win. You can't go back and compete for that same pageant. So that is their own law. But here in Nigeria, I think that there's no law. So, she's still confused as to why she was rejected by the organization. Why she wasn't, why she was told not to compete this year. Okay, so she was not like women are always at the receiving end when it comes to certain decisions here in Nigeria. You guys know that we live in a society that's patriarchal. The society, they don't always favor the interest of women. Okay, so at this point, I think that there's no rule book that says you can't compete in a pageant more than that you cannot compete in a pageant more than once. Okay, there's no rule like that. So she's still like saying there's nothing stopping her from competing. After all, there are other queens that competed more than once. Another queen I want to talk about is, if you guys remember Miss USA 2017. 2016, Deshona Baba. She competed in her state pageant 4 times, I mean 5K, before she went to Miss USA stage. I think that was the District of Columbia. She participated in Miss District of Columbia 5 times before she was able to go onto the Miss USA stage. So I don't think there's any rule that stops a queen from competing more than once if you want to compete. Do you understand? So I don't know where they got this whole thing from. Anyway, let's continue.
If you say there is no actual place, there is no public publication, there's no rule book where you state that past queens can't compete, then I have to believe that you're just singling me out. And anyone that's saying, oh, that's okay with people being cheated out of their dreams, I have to question you, and if you even care about the pageant space in the first place. Because when last year, when something similar was happening to Chidima, we were happy to have her come and compete with us. regardless of how that painted on us, we didn't like when that happened to Chidima last year. My first thought was, I know exactly how it feels to be in this position, and my soul would have not been happy with me had I not made any effort, or like had she not competed with us, because it's very, very devastating to prepare for something, be very, very prepared, and not be given the opportunity to even live it.
Okay, then let me play it back.
If you say there is no actual place, there is no public publication, there's no rule book where you state that past queens can't compete, then I have to believe that you're just singling me out. And anyone that's saying, oh, that's okay with people being cheated out of their dreams, I have to question you, and if you even care about the pageant space in the first place. Because when last year, when something similar was happening, we were all happy to have her come and compete with us, regardless of how that painted on us. We didn't like when that happened to Chidima last year. My first thought was, I know exactly how it feels to be in this position, and my soul would have not been happy with me had I not made any effort, or like had she not competed with us, because it's very, very devastating to prepare for something, be very, very prepared, and not be given the opportunity to even live it.
Yeah, so in this particular clip, she's saying that for them not to single her out, for them to single her out, they singled her out not to compete. It means that they don't really care about her. There's a lot of things that they have, the resentment they have towards her. She has already made it clear to us that definitely there's a resentment towards her. And when she also mentioned that yet last year, when persons were without a recourse to the queens, without seeking their approval, without letting them know that Chidima wants to compete, she has also stated that they also came out and said no, they were not. It was not the organization that actually wanted Chidima to compete. It was the queens, the contestants themselves, that told the Miss Universe Nigeria organization and said, please, Chidima has been rejected from South Africa by South Africans, and she's a Nigerian. Let her come and compete with us. It was the contestant that told the organization to invite Chidima over. Nyekachi is also making that, she's also clarifying that issue here in this her response, in her video that she did like yesterday. She's also saying that it was the contestant that told the organization to invite Chidima. So I think at least that has been clarified then, But at the same time, she's saying that she understands what it feels. She felt what Chidima felt. She knows how it is to be in that position, to be rejected. Okay, so it's so sad that when you prepare for a pageant, at the end of it, you put in your sweat, you put in your effort, you put in everything you can, everything, you put in the effort to compete in a particular pageant, and you're being rejected. Okay, so she was like, it's so painful, and she felt very, very, very embarrassed. She felt so sad when the organization said she couldn't compete, because she has put in a lot of effort into this year's pageant. Okay, so she was not like, she felt it. She was just trying to like give us example what happened last year. She knows exactly what Chidima went through, and now that she's passing through the same thing, she already knows how it feels to prepare for a pageant and not compete. It's very, very painful. Okay, so that's what she said. All right, so going forward, I think this is the last part in her video. Yeah, this is let me play the last part now.
Go on and ask her, and then we have to go on and ask her, if I'm being singled out, why? And I've seen a lot of people say, oh, it's because you called them out. So. Why did I call them out? You need to start asking questions. Use this thing inside of this very pretty face. Yeah, but honestly, it's something that you just have to make peace with.
Sorry, guys.
With power, women use the power the way that they wish, but I can't wait till next year when the queen that already.
Sorry, guys, I'm having cold. I was about to sneeze. I know I cut I paused the video. Sorry, guys. Let me play the video again. This is the last part. This is the last part.
And then we have to go on and ask her, if I'm being singled out, why? And I've seen a lot of people say, oh, it's because you call them out, so. Why did I call them out? You need to start asking questions. Use this thing inside of this very pretty face. Yeah, but honestly, it's something that you just have to make peace with. People with power will use the power the way that they wish, but I can't wait till next year when a queen that already has a crown competes. I can't wait. Oh, right, guys. That's enough ranting for today. And then we have to go on and...
So this is the end of the video that she did. Okay, so she was not like, have we even stopped to question? Because many persons were saying that because you called them out, that was why they singled her out and they told her not to compete. So they're like, yes, of course she called them out. Have you asked why she called them out? Because we all know why she called them out. Me, I don't want to even go towards that route because I've said it countless times. The reason why she called the organization out, we all know the reason, and we know that it was valid. The reason she called the organization out, they were valid reasons. Okay, so if you're a new person here, you might not understand, but if you have been following me here on my channel, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Why she called the Miss Universe Nigeria organization out, we all know why. But at the same time, she's like, they have powers. And these powers that they have, a lot of persons don't rule that you're power to an extent, okay? So even if you think that you can't stop somebody's dream, you don't have the power to do that, So she was not like we should wait for next year when a queen that has already been crowned contest. So I don't understand what she means by that. Is it that she wants to come back again next year for another pageant, or she's talking about somebody else? That last part, I don't really understand what she meant by that last part, that we should wait when a queen that has already been crowned competes. So I don't know what she meant by that. So let's wait till next year, because of course there are a lot of assumptions are coming to my head at this point, but I don't know who she's talking about. I don't know if she's talking about herself or she's talking about somebody else. But at the same time, she's saying that, of course we should use our own teeth, tongue to count our teeth and know the reason why she called them out. That was why they singled her out. They told her not to compete because, of course, she called them out because of the reason. That was the reason why. And probably they have a contestant already in mind. Okay, yes, they have a contestant already, which of course we are all seeing it. If you understand what I mean, we are all seeing the signs are already there that they have somebody else that they are projecting for this year's pageant. But at the same time, I think that she has the right to compete. That shouldn't stop her from competing. Even if you have somebody in mind, let her compete. Give her the freedom to compete. She has the right to compete. But the organization chose otherwise, okay? So that's it. Alright, so she has decided to make peace with it, okay? So I think we as pageant fans, we should make peace with it. And although she said next year is, she's coming back next year, or another queen is coming back next year. I don't understand that last part. But let's wait till next year and see what happens, okay? Alright guys, so this is the end of this particular live stream. I've analyzed what she did this response to Vina's victory yesterday. That was why she came out and said what she said on her Instagram stories. And I think that summarizing all that she said, it seems like she has decided to make peace with it. Probably she wants to join another organization, another pageant, because at this point the organization has already made it clear that they don't want her, contesting in the pageant, So I think at this point she has already made peace with it. She's going to look for other pageants that actually, suit what she wants. But that last part, I'm not sure. I don't know yet until next year. So let's see what she has in store for us. Okay, let's see the pageant that she has in store for us next year. All right, guys. Thank you all for joining me today. Yes, I have another live stream later. All right, so I'm going to end this one very, very soon. If you're coming in, please like this watching. Let us know your thoughts on this particular issue, and I'll see you all in my next live stream later today. All right, guys. Bye.